Okay, so tonight we're just going to talk about how we can better help our customers, following up with them, answering questions, troubleshooting if they're having any difficulty, that sort of thing. So anyhow, when we first get started posting on Facebook and we get responses, hey, tell me more about Plexus. I was just telling Shelby, it's a great thing to have like a 20 or 30-second response to what it is. It's also good to have a template, an email already set up so that you can send out your potentials, and then another email set up that's already written out so you don't have to rewrite it every single time, that you can send your new customers when they first order. And I keep those, just they're in my phone because I forward them out all the time, but I do personalize them. So if I get a new customer, I'm going to put, their name on it, and I might put a sentence or two that's personalized to their situation. So if they're struggling with blood pressure or migraines or whatever it is, thank you so much for your order. I'm so excited to help you get started on your journey. I know you mentioned that you struggle with migraines, and, just something to let them know that it is a personal letter, but the bulk of the letter and the attachments are going to be the same. It'll save you a lot of time.
How long is your letter to them?
I'll send you a copy of it, but it's like 3 paragraphs, like just a brief thank you, and then describing what the attachments are. Okay. So I usually send out what is Plexus Slim, or how does Plexus Slim work, that document. Yep. And then I send out what is Candida. Mm-hmm. And then I send out the welcome pack, the new customer welcome pack. I also attach the image of the measuring tracker. Okay. So I put those things in there, but so I thank them for their order, and then I tell them what the attachments are. And then at the bottom, I just let them know that, be sure to weigh and measure, take before and after pictures, and let me know if you have any questions, that kind of thing. So I send that to them, and then I will track my customer's package, because on occasion the post office will lose it. I've actually had 2 in the last month that they were pending delivery that day, and then they never arrived, and they still didn't arrive, and they still didn't arrive. So, anytime that happens, if you're aware of the situation, you can contact your customer and say, hey, I noticed your package was supposed to arrive today. Let me know if you got it. And if they didn't get it, say, okay, well, we'll see if it arrives tomorrow. And if not, we need to contact the post office. But if you're on top of that, then they're not going to get upset about a delayed package, because they know you're taking care of them.
That happened last month, and the response from Plexus was, if there's no movement on the package for 5 days, so from the last check-in with the tracking, from 5 days after that, they'll replace the package. They'll expedite a new shipment.
Right, that's correct. So even though it's the post office fault, if it gets lost, Plexus will send out a new one. And they did that with both of my customers, and actually both of them did end up getting their first package. So they returned the other one to Plexus. But that just goes to show, that the company is going to take care of them, even if the post office is, not doing their job adequately. So anyway, so track the packages and make sure that they get their package. And then the day that they get their package, I usually will follow up with them. Hey, did you get your package okay? And if it's early enough in the day, I will encourage them to go ahead and start on their Slim that day. If it's that evening, they get home from work, then I'll just prompt them to help get started in the morning. But, cheer them on, be excited, answer any questions that they have. And then I will usually follow up with them. Again, I'll send a quick message the day that they start it. How'd you like the taste? How did your first day go? Excited to hear back from you, something like that. And that way, if they had any questions at all, or, if they're like, yeah, it was too sweet for me, I can troubleshoot with them that they can dilute it a little more. They can add a squeeze of lemon. Or if they say, I had a hard time getting all my water in, whatever it is that they, if they have something they want to share with you, you're right there. You're providing that great support. Again, building that relationship and helping them through the first few days is very helpful, because if there are any issues, you're developing that relationship with them, and that's more likely to help them continue on. A lot of times that I've had customers quit is because they weren't responding to any messages. There was no communication going on. So it's really important to try to keep that line of communication open with them. Otherwise, if they quit, you won't even know why. It could be something simple, like a detox headache, and they thought the product was causing it, when it maybe just a little bit of detox. And if you can help them through that first week, they may feel superb and love their products. So we just want to try to keep that communication open with them.
But what if,
Go ahead.
what if they don't respond? What if they're terrible at, getting back to you? And
I have a few of them that are that way. They're very busy. They work full time. They've got a family. It's really hard. You just do the best you can. If you're reaching out to them, they know that you're trying to be a support to them. If need be, you can also give them a call. Like if messaging them is not working, maybe on the weekend, reach out to them by phone.
so say you sent them I'm just trying to get a timeline in my head. So say you message them on like Tuesday and they haven't responded. How long will you wait to either send them another message or just call them?
Okay, so let's say they get their package on a Tuesday. I'm going to message them knowing that I saw that their package had arrived. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to say, hey, I just saw that your tracking shows your package arrived today. Let me know if you got it okay. Because what if they delivered it to the neighbor's house on accident? I just want to make sure they got it. And I also will ask, let me know if you have any questions on getting started. I'm excited for you. Something like that. The next day, which should be their first day, I'm going to message them again. Hey, how'd your first day go? Can't wait to hear back. Let me know what you thought. Or let me know how you love the taste. Something like that. If I still don't hear from them, I'll message. So that would have been Wednesday. So, Friday or Saturday now, we're going on the third or fourth day. If I still haven't heard anything, I don't know if they've started their products. I don't know if they're having, any issues. I'm gonna message them one more time. If I don't hear from them, I probably will go ahead and give them.
How many days?
So 3 or 4, 3, 4, 5 at most. I'm going to reach out if I haven't heard back from them in a private message. It really depends on your relationship with them too, Tina, because if this is your best friend and that they're, they know that they can come to you and you've got a good relationship, but they're busy, I'm probably not going to call, because I know that they're going to call me if they have an issue. If it's someone I don't know as well, maybe an acquaintance or someone I met recently or a friend of a friend, a referral, something like that, I definitely want to reach out to them.
So you've done the day that they're getting their shipment, you do a little message. The day that the first day that they've used the products, you want to check in and see how that so you can troubleshoot if need be. Mm-hmm. Then 3 or 4 days later, if you haven't heard back from them, you're going to send them another message.
Yes.
And then at what point would you call?
Probably between days 5 and 7, because I wanted those are those are key days. You got to make sure that they're getting through that first week, and doing okay. If they respond back even briefly, like going great, or
then you can just drop it.
Then that they saw the message. They'll reach out to you if they have any issues.
Okay.
Some people with this new Facebook Messenger, they don't even get their messages. So, all they get is a notification that they have a message, but they have no idea that you've sent them a message. You could send an email if if you'd rather not call, if you don't feel comfortable with that right away, you could send an email.
Well, I don't mind calling. I just, my timing, I think I've just been concerned about my timing and kind of having, how I am. Give me a list. Tell me when
you want that formula.
Black and white.
That's okay. No problem. There really is there's no secret formula. It's really, that's what has worked for me.
Right.
That's what I try to do. There are some customers who, they're just too busy, and it's not anything personal against us. They know that we're there for them. They'll reach out if they need us. And And I don't think that they're going to think we're bugging them because they know we're truly trying to help them.
Right.
So I think we got to make sure that mindset's not going on inside of us. We don't want to be like, oh my goodness, they're going to think I'm like stalking or bugging them, you know?
Well, that's my fear,
Mhm.
actually. That is what's bringing my
fear. Yeah, I think it's just a mental concern.
Okay.
I don't think that our customers are going to feel that way about us. You know, but if they screen your, you know, here's what I would do. If they truly just don't want to be bugged about it and they want to do their own thing, you can just leave them a message and then you'll know, okay, I've left a message there and I've private messaged or I've emailed. They know that I'm available to help them. And if they just truly want to do it on their own, there's nothing I can do about it, but at least you've done your part.
Right. And try.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. All right. So we've covered the email, the follow-up email, and then I typically will just follow up by private message because Facebook is primarily how I do business. But if you have a customer who is not on Facebook, or maybe, maybe you met them outside of Facebook, be sure to follow up by email or phone call. And then we can get into troubleshooting next if you'd like to go through some troubleshooting ideas. So, Tina, tell me some of your troubleshooting questions that you've been having.
I don't really know. I've been getting a lot of health-related issues and people getting discouraged.
Okay.
Like today I had one of my new ambassadors she's new to the products, and she did Slim for a week by itself and it was doing great, and then she added ProBio and was not sleeping well.
Okay.
And then she was, added the Bio Cleanse, and she was having some insomnia. So just trying to find the right information.
Right.
The other day with Anne with the kidneys and the gallbladder.
Gotcha.
I just want to make sure that I'm advising them well.
Right. That makes sense.
And then, the other thing that I'm struggling with are the people that aren't seeing the weight loss. So
right.
just kind of like,
they see those awesome before and afters and they're like, I want that quick success.
I want it yesterday.
Exactly. Yeah, that can be frustrating too. All right, so I'll address those. Maria, tell me some troubleshooting questions that people have had for you.
Well, I haven't had too many yet. I think that there are some people that probably feel like they're not seeing results fast enough.
Okay.
Kind of thing with weight loss or whatever, But so far, the ones that I've been working with have been willing to try and stick it out, and see how it goes. And I've tried to give them some information on that. So
okay.
That's kind of where I am right now. But that's what I foresee, people that just are trying to see.
Right.
They don't understand the product. So I'm trying to learn more about how I can explain that to them.
Great.
Like that.
Great. Okay. All right. And then Cindy looks like she took a call. So, all right. So those are very common troubleshooting issues. So first week, especially that someone starts the ProBio, if they have a lot of underlying health issues going on, they could experience some detox. And this is another reason why it's really important to try to keep the lines of communication open, because if they start out, at 2 or even 4 ProBio all at once, they could experience those detox symptoms, the die-off, the headaches, the GI upset, things like that. So I always try to reach out to my customers. I recommend, let's say they're starting on the Triplex combo, I encourage all of my customers to start on just Slim for the first, week or 3 to 5 days at least, to give them a chance to learn how their body, likes the Slim and responds to the Slim before they start the Accelerator or the Boost or the Block or any other, products. Because if they start everything at once, then if they are feeling a certain way, whether it's fatigue or headache, it's really hard to know, well, which product is triggering that. Is it you know, that they have a sensitivity to the caffeine and accelerator, or, you know, how do we know? So I really want my customers to start off going one at a time. So I get them started on Slim first. I see how they like it, how they're feeling. If they're feeling really good, getting that energy and a decrease in cravings. Then I will talk to them about starting the ProBio, 1 capsule at bedtime for a whole week. I don't want them to jump right into 2 or 3 or 4 capsules and feel those really strong die-off symptoms. There are people who just want to go full bore and knock it out fast and, you know, suffer through, and that's okay. If they know that that could happen and they're willing to do that, great. But I don't want my customers to get in and just feel miserable that first week and then feel like they need to quit. So if you're new, if you're watching this and you're new and you don't know the products very well, the ProBio is, it's a really good probiotic, but it also has antifungal enzymes. So it's much stronger and more effective than most probiotics on the market. So if they have been taking probiotics before now and they switch over to ProBio and they're not expecting any difference, they may have die-off symptoms of the Candida yeast and feel uncomfortable. So that's why I always say go slow. There is a website that I will, I'll post on the team page tonight. It's through Candida Diet, but it's a great resource for potential detox symptoms that they might, I mean, not detox, die-off, that they might experience. Now, not everybody does. For me personally, when I started, I did not have headaches. I didn't have too much discomfort. I did get a little bit of tummy trouble the first day, but it was gone after that. Clark had headaches. How long were your headaches, honey, when you first started? A couple days? First day? When you first started, though, how long? A day or two? Or did it?
Several days.
Okay, so several days. Headaches are a common die-off symptom. So, but the list, I'll give you that resource. So if your customers are reporting anything like that to you, then I would send them that, you know, link and say, you know, hey, you know, sometimes that can happen. When we kill off underlying candida in our gut, it can make us feel a little crummy the first few days. There's a really huge discussion that was just on one of the ambassador groups recently, and vitamin C is really good at helping those die-off symptoms. So I have really started to encourage that if I'm having a customer with headaches or not feeling, you know, too great that first week, 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C twice a day will really help those die-off symptoms. So that's something that I would keep in mind to recommend to them. Also, be sure that they're drinking their water, because so many people are chronically dehydrated. I'm guilty of it myself, but if they're not drinking enough water, then they're going to get backed up, or they're going to experience more of those symptoms. So that's really important to ask them. If they're not feeling so great, hey, how's your water intake? Getting all your water in, half your body weight, in ounces of water a day. And most of the time they'll say, well, no, not really. So that's something we really want to encourage them on. All right, so that's the first week. I really, you know, a lot of times people are going to feel fabulous. You know, the cravings are gone and they're able to make better food choices. They're feeling great on their Slim. When they start the ProBio, if they do have underlying Candida yeast, though, their sugar cravings can come back pretty strong. And, you know, if they say, hey, I'm still having really bad cravings, let them know that that could be what's going on there. But again, that's why I start them on the Slim for the first 5 to 7 days, because they'll know how they were feeling on just that. So when they add that ProBio in and they start to feel a little bit different, they can understand that that's normal die-off symptoms that can last usually about a week or so. But for some people, if they have severe underlying health issues, it can take a little bit longer. So you're going to start them on 1 capsule at bedtime for about a week. until they're tolerating it. Now, if they're still having really severe tummy, bowel issues, or they're, still having headaches, don't increase them to 2 until they're comfortably tolerating 1. Then go up to 2. They may feel some more die-off symptoms. Get to 3 or 4. That's where it's really going to start to knock it out of their system, and they'll start feeling better. But, customers do need to be aware of the whole game plan of what we're trying to do here. Not everybody, it just depends on how much they have going on in their gut, how many gut issues they have. Not everybody has that big of a gut issue, but if they're experiencing discomfort, and it's on the list of the die-off, they need to understand that that's part of normal candida die-off and ways to treat it. Talk to them about the vitamin C, make sure they're drinking their water, and then also help them with their diet. Address the diet issues. If they're feeding the candida with sugars and processed foods and yeast-related, yeast bread or beer, alcohol, anything that's going to feed it, it's going to take longer to get through that phase. And if they're really wanting to take on improving their health, challenge them. Hey, as that Slim's helping your cravings, try to make those better choices. Watch what you're eating, and when you can, grab a protein snack instead of a bag of potato chips, that kind of thing. All right, so that's die-off. Now, as far as troubleshooting the quick weight loss, all right, I was totally guilty initially of posting a bunch of those really awesome before and afters all the time because there are a lot of people who do experience that. I did. I had quick weight loss. But that doesn't happen for everybody. And I don't want to set up false expectations for my customers. It's a double-edged sword. And on one hand, you can get a lot more customers by showing them those awesome things. But then you also have to deal with troubleshooting their frustration if they don't lose it as fast as you did or as fast as these other people that you're posting about. So if you post just quick weight loss pictures, you will encounter that when you have customers who aren't losing it as quickly. Plus, you're attracting the customers with that mentality. They're like, well, goodness, bathing suit season is coming and I want to get into that, next month, So they're going to be ordering with the mindset of quick weight loss. And those customers are not going to be very happy if they don't lose it quickly. They're going to just come and go. Well, this one's not fast enough, so I'm jumping ship and I'm going to go try this other one over here. This is not ephedra. These are not stimulants that are going to force that weight off really quickly. That's not what it was designed to do. If there are people who don't have a whole lot of underlying health issues, the weight can come off really quickly. If there are people who gained weight quickly in an event type weight gain, whether it was a pregnancy or they were on a medication and they gained 20 or 30 pounds relatively quickly, that weight will come back down pretty quickly. However, if they've been heavy for a long time, 10, 15 years, their body has to go through a rebalancing phase of getting these organ systems back into balance and retraining the body on what their normal BMI should be before the weight's going to come down. So again, there's nothing to force that weight off. However, when you balance the blood sugar and you don't get those spikes and crashes, cravings are better controlled, you make better food choices. So it is a tool to help, but it's not going to do all the work for you. And so I don't want our customers to have the mentality that, oh, I'm just going to drink this pink drink and I'm going to keep eating my cake and my donuts and going out to eat and it's just going to fall off. And then they're disappointed when that doesn't happen. So what I encourage you to do is make sure that when you are posting, that you're marketing it as a whole health, overall health plan rather than a weight loss plan. you can certainly share some of those, because for some people, they are going to experience that. Again, I did, so I know it happens. But I also want to address that Plexus is a health program, and those underlying health issues have to be addressed and worked out first. And our goal is to help our customers and our friends focus on the healthy, not the skinny. So when I first started, I was all about the weight loss. But now I'm realizing it's not really about what the scale says. It's about our underlying health. And that is so much more important than
So, may I ask a question?
Go ahead.
So when you get your customers and they go to your website
Mm-hmm.
and the first thing they see is weight loss,
Mm-hmm.
how do we curb that? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, Plexus does have an 85% success rate with weight loss. But what it's not going to do is it's not going to make them lose all the weight that they want to lose in, 2 weeks or 4 weeks or 6 or 8 weeks. Now, if they're not satisfied with the rate of weight loss that they're seeing at 60 days, they can get their money back.
Right.
So if their mindset is, I want to go from a size 12 to a size 6 before my cousin's wedding in August, and they're not losing it fast enough, if that is their true goal, quick weight loss, and it's not doing that for them, they may leave, and that's okay. And there's not a whole lot we can do other than to remind them that, this is not a stimulant that's going to force it off. It is a tool, and we do have to use that controlled cravings to help us make healthier choices.
So I had a comment from a customer once.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to make sure it was going to work in the first 60 days, because they wanted to make sure that as much as they spent on it,
Uh-huh.
they wanted to make sure it was going to work.
Mm-hmm.
And when I said, when I told her that it's really just a tool, this is, all of that you just said.
Yep.
She said that she's not interested in changing her diet if she has to spend this much money on a product and still have to change her diet.
Right. So she's looking for the magic pill. Yeah.
Right. So what do you do when you have somebody?
Well, there are some people who are going to lose weight quickly, and you never know if she might be one.
So if somebody's concerned with weight loss, even though they've got the gut health issue, and that long term they need the triplex,
Right.
what would you recommend to somebody like that?
I would send them what is Candida and what can it do to your health.
What product would you recommend them to start with, so that that they are going to be more likely to see some benefit and some results?
If they're truly focused on just weight loss and they're not wanting to change their diet or tackle their gut health issues, and they're really just trying to get the quickest way of getting that weight off for an event or something, then I probably would go with the Slim Accelerator, the Slim Boost, or Slim Block, or all three. One of those.
Okay.
I would probably go that route, but I would let them know that I do believe there's underlying gut health issues that could be hindering your weight loss. And discuss that with them up front, because if they don't see what they're looking for, they could change. They could quit Plexus and they could go try other things, and they still may not see the results. But if they've had that conversation with you,
a seed's been planted.
The seed's been planted that they need to work on their gut health, and they may end up coming back.
Okay.
So that's how I would approach it. There definitely are people who are a quick weight loss. If I'm going to spend money, I want it to just fall off. Those are the people who have tried every weight loss magic pill out there trying to lose it. And just know that they're probably going to be customers who may not stick it out if they don't see exactly what they're looking for. People don't want to put in effort. They want to eat all the junk that's been harming their body and not make any changes. But what I try to encourage people is, I used to struggle with those same things. I was a horrible carb eater. My mentality was constantly thinking about, what do I want to eat next? What am I craving right now? I could never get away from those cravings and those thoughts. So when I started on the Plexus Slim, it no longer controlled my thoughts anymore. It's like, wow, I'm actually not even hungry. And it's after lunch already. You know, oh, it's 1 o'clock and I didn't even eat lunch. Well, since I'm not craving something right now, I'm actually going to make something healthy. And then when I eat and I'm not as hungry, well, I'm going to stop when I'm not as hungry. You know, if I feel full, I don't need to engorge myself on those, you know, foods.
Right.
I'm not really craving those, you know, chips and pretzels and things that I used to snack on. But I know I need to eat, so I think I'm going to grab a handful of almonds or, you know, some carrot sticks or some, you know, something healthier. And that helps. And if people know that you don't have to change your food, okay? You don't have to.
But it helps.
Mentally, you're going to not have those cravings, so you can.
Right.
That's what's going to help. There's no diet restriction required. There's no, you know, counting calories. So we don't have to deal with that. If you'll work with the Slim when it helps you not have those cravings, then the weight's going to come down. You take time. And there may be other underlying, you know, if they get to their 60-day mark and they haven't seen a whole lot, you know, if they haven't seen the results that they're looking for, then we need to look at other factors, the gut health, the
Insulin resistance.
yeah, insulin resistance. What are they still eating and drinking? You know, maybe we need to examine that with them. If they're, you know, partying and up and drinking a lot of alcohol that's feeding that candida that we're trying to get rid of, or if they're, maybe they have thyroid, you know, low thyroid issues, that can certainly delay or slow weight loss. Brain fatigue. There's lots of other health issues that are going on here. But again, you've got two types of customers. You've got customers who don't care about their health. They only care about the skinny. And I'm not going to pay money if I can't lose this weight, you know. Those are going to be the people who sign up for the gym. They pay for that gym membership, but they don't end up going for very long because, again, that takes effort. They don't want anything. They're willing to spend the money if it means the weight's just going to come right off. However, if you can talk to your friends and get them on the mentality of health and why health is so important. And again, that's why my posts, a lot of my posts are focused on that. You know, what soda can do to your body. You know, what high insulin, you know, and blood sugar issues can do to your overall health. Just lots of different, you know, candida, underlying gut health issues. The more we educate people and help them recognize these overall health issues and how they're deterring our weight loss, the more they're going to start to think about those things and focus on those things rather than just looking for that quick weight loss. All right, so I've done a lot of talking here before we move on to the next thing. Let me answer questions. What questions do you have based on what I've just shared? Maria, do you have any questions?
I don't think so, not at this point.
Okay. Shelby, how about you?
Not at this point. I'm just listening and learning a lot right now, so.
And again, like, you know, we're talking about troubleshooting questions here. Not all of your customers are going to experience this. You're going to have some who just absolutely love it. And, you know, I don't want you to think that this is something that we get all the time, but we do need to know, what do we do if someone isn't seeing, you know, what they want? How do we encourage them? What do we say? And so it's definitely something that takes time to learn. You know, for me, I've got a customer right now who, she's really constipated, and that is a really hard situation to overcome, especially when you're nursing, because you've got to balance, you know, you can't take too much BioCleanse without making the baby too loose. But if you've got all that held up inside of you, you're not going to see the results. So I'm having to troubleshoot with her, and we as ambassadors need to know how to research and find those answers to help them, because we are their advocate and we want to help them succeed. And if they're experiencing something that, you know, isn't that, you know, common, and they reach out to you and go, hey, I'm getting like little sores in my mouth, or hey, I'm having a headache the last 3 days. Is that normal? We need to know these troubleshooting things and know how to respond to them, so that we don't think, oh, everybody's going to jump right in and everything's going to be perfect. And oh my gosh, you are so, what? You've got headaches? I've never heard of that. I mean, we don't want to be like that for them. So we need to make sure that we know that there are some people who do experience that. And this is what we've done to help them overcome that. And this is what I've seen, and just share, you know, like, oh, you know what? I had a customer who did experience that. And this is what helped. You know, they saw that for the first few days. They increased their water intake. They took some vitamin C, and within 3 or 4 days, they were fine, and they've been fine since. So just hearing that from us, if they hear that and they know, okay, good, whew, you know, it's not just me, and I'm going to be able to push past this, it will really encourage them to keep going. Now, if they have some crazy underlying health issues, you know, say they have a history of, you know, heart disease or kidney disease or whatever it is, and they're like, you know, I'm experiencing, I don't know, some really weird symptom and you've never heard of it before, I would immediately just say, oh my goodness, I haven't heard of that, but I'm going to do some research and I'll get right back to you. And then come to me, or you know, search through on the DDD page. You can type in that magnifying glass, and you can search through the old files. There's tons of discussions on any kind of topic you could ever imagine. If you typed in itching, or if you typed in constipation, whatever their issue is, there's, you know, dozens of threads of conversations where they've talked about that. You know, and when you look at those old threads and they say, hey, my customer is on her first week of triplex and she's having constipation, could somebody please help me? What do I say to them? You can read those and you'll get some great answers from people who actually experienced that very thing, or their customer did, and you'll be able to learn a lot of information. And then you can take that information back to your customer and say, hey, you know, I looked through and I read some really good information, and from what I read, it seems that a common way of overcoming that is this. And so you've just given them, you've empowered them with an option, a way, you know, something to do. For example, let's say your customer didn't know any better and they started out on 2-Pro-Bio and they're having really bad headaches and they just don't think they can go on, and this Plexus thing isn't working for me and I feel miserable. You know, you can say, well, actually, headaches are a die-off symptom, and it could be just that you started out on 2-Pro-Bio, and I really encourage you to back down to 1 for the next few days and see if that will help you, and also add in some vitamin C. And now I've given them something to try, and it keeps them going so they don't just altogether up and quit. Make sense?
Yeah.
All right. You guys are pretty quiet.
Yes, it makes sense.
All right. So, yes, so Plexus Ambassador Support is also another place that you can search through those things. Shelby, I did not add you in there, and I don't typically add my brand new customers in there because that page can be a bit overwhelming for someone who's new. So I tend to want you to look through either my page or the DDD page while you're getting started, and come to me if you can't find the answer. And then as you get a little bit more experience and get more comfortable with things, then jump in to the Plexus Ambassador Support. That page can have lots of pros and cons. The great thing about that page is they don't screen the questions, so anybody can ask any question at any time. So if you're out and about and you can't search and you've got someone on the phone with you or in person with you and they're like, I really need to know this answer, and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know, and you message me and I'm not responding, you can jump on there and ask a question and you'll get a quick response. So that is the great thing that I love about that site. However, because they don't screen any questions, you get a lot of the same questions all the time and people get annoyed by it. And then you also have the people who do their little negative drama venting sessions on there, and it can really discourage. So I don't like to put people in there initially. I'd rather you come to me whenever you're having trouble finding the answer to something.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. All right. Okay. So another thing I wanted to discuss with you, I starred and brought up to the top of the Plexi Power team the customer printout. And I really think that this is something that I would like our team to start doing, even myself. I'm going to start doing this. I have a clipboard. All right. So I've tried this system. I'm not really good about keeping up with it, but this might work for some of you. I'm just way too busy to sit down and actually use this. So have you guys seen this system where there's a video, but what you can do is you have a little box, a little file box with index cards, and you've got these little index dividers that say 1 through 31 on them, and for each potential that you're talking to that's showing interest, for each customer and for each ambassador, you make them a little index card. And say today is the 3rd of the month, behind the 3rd, I've got a couple people in here that I wanted to follow up with today. So I'm going to pull those people out. I'm going to message them. If I have a conversation with them, I'm going to write down, you know, what they're taking and what they're experiencing and what we talked about. And then I'm going to, you know, decide, you know, based on our conversation, well, if I'm going to follow up with them in 3 days, then I'm going to put it behind the 6th. If I'm going to follow up in a week, I'm going to move it back and I'm going to put it behind day 11. So that way I'm keeping up with following up with them. However, I've just found for me, this is too time consuming and tedious. So I've quit using this file box system, but it may work great for some of you. So that is an option for follow up. Have any of you been using that? Have you tried it?
I didn't maintain it.
Yeah.
Like, I do have it set up, but
What about you, Cindy? Didn't you start that at one point?
I was going to, but I never did.
Okay.
what do you do instead?
What do I do? What does Cindy do?
I
Both
just
of you.
remember.
You just
You're
remember.
good. I can't do
I
that.
just keep it in my head right now, but I need to transfer it to something. But
Yeah,
I like that form, that
I
page
do
you're talking about.
I do too. So what I'm actually thinking about doing, for now, I just want to print those out. So if you look, it's got a front and back. I
did print those.
Yeah, I really do too. And I don't think it's something, like it says something about having them fill it out. Maybe if you meet them at a vendor event or something, but I'm not planning on doing it that way. I'm just going to fill out their information and it's going to prompt me to write down when I talk with them and following up with them. And
So
I'm
how do you organize them?
going to put it in a binder. And I'm not sure that, I don't think that I'm going to do a certain day. I think what I'm going to do, eventually I want to get a little planner that's like the half size, you know, like our success guide, that's not a full true binder, but I want one of those small binders, like a planner size that I can carry with me. So I may come up with a way that we can print that on a half size sheet of paper instead of a full size.
And is that what you're working on for our binder, to make it that size?
Yes. Yes. Do you remember our Super Saturday booklet? I want it to be this size.
I have it right here.
My goal is to have it be this size.
So we can put it in our purse and take it with us wherever we go.
Yes. I want our businesses to be portable.
Right.
And I don't want to have to carry a huge 8.5 by 11 binder around with me everywhere I go. So same mentality here. I would love to take that customer printout and print it on a half size sheet of paper and get a small half size binder and put it in that. And then what I plan to do is have a customer tab and an ambassador tab, because I want to keep track of you guys too. And as you guys grow your teams, you want to make sure that you're following up with your ambassadors and keeping up with how they're doing. When
You want to treat them like customers too.
Exactly, especially like Shelby just got started, and Shelby, you're still a new customer as well. So I want to make sure that I'm going to take care of you as a brand new customer. And if if your sister or your friends sign on, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to treat them as a customer when they sign up. Just because they sign on as an ambassador when they get started doesn't mean they know how to troubleshoot through these products any more than your customers do. So yes,
Exactly.
yeah. So I'm going to treat you just like I would a customer when you're getting started on your products. I'm going to make sure that I'm there for you to support you and help you troubleshoot, but I'm also going to be training you on the business side at the same time. And we want to make sure that we duplicate that so that we're not like, great, you're on my team, now you're on your own. You know, that's definitely not how we want to treat our newbies. We've got to focus just as much effort on helping our new ambassadors have their own great personal health success story, because it's those success stories that make us so passionate about these products and make us want to share. You know, if you've got, you know, a migraine testimonial or weight loss or gut health or toenail or whatever, you know, whatever you love about these products, I want to make sure you get that success so that you can then share that same passion and excitement with your friends. All right. So what I want to do is I want to get a half-size binder. I was looking around and I don't have one down here, but all right, the customer page. Hold on, I got it here. Let me pull that out. All right, so there's several things that we can do. All right, so when you log into your back office, you can actually, I don't know if you guys know this, but you can pull up a list of your customers. You can print it out as an Excel document. And you can store it on a digital format, or you can even print out the list. If I've got, you know, my list of my team or my customers, I can print it out like this. It's got all their phone numbers and their emails on here. And I can put that in that binder too. It's just a quick, brief overview of all my customers. I would write beside that when their orders are. So if they're a preferred customer and, you know, one of them has their order going out on the 4th of the month and one's got it going out on the 11th of the month, I want to know when that order is going to go out, because a good customer support technique is to message them a couple of days before their order goes out and say, hey, I just want to remind you that your order is set to go out tomorrow or Wednesday or, you know, whatever it is. And I just wanted to check in and see if there's anything that you want to change with your order. Sometimes they want to add a product to their order. Sometimes they want to take a product off. Sometimes they want to cancel. Maybe they're tight financially and they need to put a hold on it and delay it by a week or two. Sometimes they love their products and they're ready to sign up as an ambassador. But if you don't reach out to them a day or two before the shipment goes out, you might find yourself with a pretty frustrated customer who didn't realize it was going to go out and they didn't have the funds, and oh my gosh, now I can't make my rent payment, whatever it is. That's just part of being, in my mind, a responsible ambassador. It continues to build that rapport and relationship with them. So I try to reach out and make sure that they know that that shipment is coming. It's about to go out, and is there anything that we can do to change that order? Now, if they do want to make changes to their order, we as ambassadors can cancel their orders for them, and we can take products off of their orders for them. We cannot change anything if it's going to increase the cost of their credit card. So if they want to add, say they've been on Triplex, but now they want to add the accelerator, they will have to call customer service to add that on. They can cancel from their customer login, but as of right now, they cannot edit their order. They can create a new one-time order, but they can't edit their existing shipment. If they go through and they create, you know, an order for accelerator, it's not going to be on their preferred order. It's going to come separately. So give them the customer support number, have them call in. If you're finding that they're really busy, you know, hey, I'm working all day, I don't have time to sit through hold. One thing that I will do for my customers, especially if it's like middle of the day, long waits, you know, if there's a 15-minute wait, if you have the ability to, this is not something you have to do, it's just something I try to do for my customers. I will actually call customer support. I will sit on hold for them, and then I will have the number ready for them so that when I get through and I explain to customer service what they were wanting to do, customer service will actually call my customer, make the change, and then come back over and let me know that it was done. So now I've just saved my customer having to sit through a 15 or 20 minute hold.
That's a really great idea.
Yeah. So that's one thing that I mean, it's just really helpful because you want to,
You want them to be happy.
yeah, exactly. That's part of being a successful ambassador is having happy customers. So, and I will honestly tell you that there are times that I've had customers frustrated by something that was out of my control, and it frustrated them. But I forget what it was now. I think maybe either the package got lost or they got the wrong product. I can't remember what it was now. But because I'm always trying to help them with their customer service and they know how much I care about them to try to ease them, to ease their burdens, they did not allow that one little annoying thing to make them want to up and quit. So keep that in mind that great customer service, happy customers, and happy, satisfied customers means you have continued money coming in each month. And it also means that you have the potential for them to decide that they want to jump on your team and become an ambassador and make money themselves. So we want to keep those people happy. All right. So hold on one second. I'll write a thought down before I forget it and not remember to come back to it. Okay. All right. So going back to our customer pages. All right, so I pulled them up to the top of the Power Team. This customer information sheet looks like this. All right, so I personally am going to start doing this. I'll tell you, I have not been that great about having an organized system, but my system has currently been, I have a clipboard. I've got my convention points that I'm trying to earn on the top of the clipboard. And when I add a new customer or a new ambassador, I'm going to put it on here and tally my points. And behind that, I have these are, hey, Clark. All right, behind that, I have, these are my contact list, my dream list of people that I'm reaching out to. And then right behind that, these are people that I've sent samples to and people who I've talked to. These are my potentials that I've actually reached out to and been working with. So I've been following up with them through this list. And then I have one for my customers that have ordered. I've got a list that's got the dates that they ordered, and I've just been making notes beside it, got their package, so I've got like one page, but I don't have anything like this where I've got a page for each of them. So this is what I'm going to start this week, and I encourage all of the team to do this too. Create and do this for your ambassadors too. Create a page for your ambassadors, because that way you're keeping tabs on
Everything.
how your follow-up went the last time, and then you can write, I'm going to follow up with them in 1 week, and you can star that there. And then what I'm going to do, because I'm not going to put these in days 1 through 31 in my binder, I'm going to have my calendar, which I have right here on my desk. All right. So I've got my calendar here, and I'm going to write on my calendar that I'm going to follow up with that customer that day. So each day on my calendar, I'm just going to look, okay, on April 4th, I need to follow up with those two people. So I think that that's going to work for me, and I'd love to see how that works for you guys. So let me know how that goes. So those printouts are at the top of the team page, and I think we should start doing that and see if that helps us with our follow-up. All right. Any questions on that?
Would you be able to, by chance, take a picture and message it to me on Facebook?
I sure
I
can.
was trying to think of what it was looking like, but I can't.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah, for
I actually
Okay.
brought it to the very top of the Power Team, In fact, let me just log on to the Power Team, make sure it's at the top. I put a star there. Customer info sheet, it's like the second one down.
Okay.
Front and back. So I will tag you in that in a minute if you can't find it. But I can also do it as a photo if you can't open that document and print it. I can see if I can. It may not be as high of quality, but at least it'll get you started.
Okay, I should be able to open it just fine.
Okay, great. So I'll make sure to tag you in that. I'm going to write that down right now. Okay. Okay, so that
I have to get off of here, so I'm sorry.
Okay.
Got some other things going on. So.
All right. Great chatting.
Uh-huh.
All right, bye. Okay, one more quick thing, and then I'm going to stop the recording so that hopefully it doesn't go over the time limit for Facebook. Otherwise, I'll do it through YouTube again. All right, so one more thing that I want to share with you guys that's really helpful down the road as you've been in it for a few months to know about your customers. Celeste gave me a really good piece of advice, and that is this business is kind of like you're filling up a bathtub, but the bathtub drain is open, okay? It is not something that we should expect that every single customer who signs on with us is going to stay a customer forever, okay? Most of the time, they're not going to spend $100 a month every month and continue to do that forever. There are a few who might. Maybe they've got the most amazing migraine success, and they don't care if they're not losing weight because that wasn't their goal, but they've been taking the products and they don't have migraines anymore, and they would rather take that than their migraine prescription med, whatever. Or maybe like our friend Jessica, who's on the team, she's been able to cut her seizure meds in half, and she's about to get to cut them again. Well, I would imagine that she's going to love these products and want to be on it for life. So if you have someone like that they love their products, and it might even be, for example, Jessica, just by cutting her meds by half, says she saves $90 a month on her prescription medication. So there are people who you might find, or maybe it's their blood sugar levels are really stable and they've been able to get off their insulin, whatever. Whatever it is, people like that are going to be there and they're going to love it and stay on it. But they have no interest in selling, so they're going to be a loyal customer, and that's great. You might have a few of those. A lot of people really, though, are going to try it for a month or two. If they have success, they're probably going to want to join your team. So they're not going to be in your customer status because of that. There's going to be other people who are looking for that quick weight loss. If they don't see the results that they want, they're going to quit. That's okay. That's their choice, and that's just something we have to be aware of. There's also going to be people who may do it for 5 or 6 months, and then they're like, you know what, I really love the products, but right now financially I just can't continue doing it. So they may quit for a little while and they may come back, and that's okay. But I want you to just know that it is normal to have customers leave. Do not let it discourage you. Okay, that is normal. But in the meantime, we got to keep that bathtub filling faster than those customers are leaving. So every month, be reaching out to those potentials. My personal goal for myself is to be adding 3 new customers and 3 new ambassadors every month. I don't always get that, but that's my personal goal. So that way, if I have 1 customer or 2 customers decide, hey, I want to become an ambassador, or hey, you know what, I just can't afford to keep doing this month. Sorry. It doesn't affect because I've already got someone else ready to take their spot. I have had months, I was talking with Tina about this earlier this week. I had 1 month where I had my highest record PV sales. The very next month, boom, down to the bottom. I will tell you why, because I actually had like 5 or 6 of them join my team the next month. And that happens. It's frustrating at times when we don't see that PV as high as we want it to be. But please do not let it emotionally discourage you. It's very normal. All right. So I think that's all that I have about the customer side. You guys are welcome to ask me some questions and
Show me your clipboard again.
my clipboard.
Yeah.
All right.
Are you done recording?
Let me stop. All right.